Today's lesson is Unit 1, Lesson 4. We're looking at comparing fractions. So you can see I have two fractions here, 2/5 compared with 2/7. We're going to be using inequality symbols to compare those fractions. So we're either going to use the greater than symbol to say that 2/5 is greater than 2/7, or we're going to use the less than symbol, 2/5 is less than 2/7, or we're going to say that they're equal. So what I want you to notice in these two fractions is that the numerators are the same. These numerators, the number of unit fractions is 2. But notice the bottom. This fraction is divided into 5 parts, and this fraction is divided into 7 parts. So I want you to think about, if you had a pie, would you want your pie to be divided into 5ths or 7ths? Well, probably 5ths. That means there's going to be less cuts of the pie. That means the pie pieces will be bigger. So logically, we can see, since the numerator's the same, we know we still get 2 parts of the pie, but this pie is only divided into 5ths, so the pieces are going to be larger. So there's a good clue that this fraction has got to be bigger than this one. Now we could model that by drawing a pie and seeing visually that 2/5 is larger than 2/7, but I also can do a fraction bar. So there's my 2/5. I have a total of 5 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of them are shaded, that means I have 2/5. Here's my second fraction, 2/7. Now visually you can see again that the 5ths are much bigger than the 7ths. Even though I didn't do a stellar job of drawing this out accurately, it's still very clear that 2/5, and I've lined up my fraction, so there's the 2/5. You can tell that that is more than these little 2/7. So our answer to our question of which fraction is, how do these two fractions compare? 2/5 is greater than 2/7. And we said 2 different ways that we could do that. We could notice that the numerator's the same, but the parts are different. If it has less in the denominator, that means that whole is divided up into less pieces, which means the pie is bigger. I'm going to draw that one example more simple for you just to make sure you have a visual. Here is my pie, one whole pie. If I divide it into half, there's 1 out of 2. There's that part. Now what if I had my pie divided into 4ths and I only have 1 out of 4? That means I'm only going to have this. So is 1/4 greater or less than 1/2? Clearly you can see you would want half of the pie, not 1/4 of the pie, because half is much greater. The whole pie is only divided into 2 parts. The part is bigger. This pie in green is divided into 4ths, so 1 of the 4 pieces is way less than 1 of the halves.